Are we alone in the universe? And is your relationship the best that it could be? We're going to get into it. Let's get it. Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for our video podcasts and YouTube exclusive content. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family, hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about aliens, the Michelangelo phenomenon, and the evolution of video games. But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. A friend of mine sent me this trailer, and I guess Joe Rogan promoted it. I'm not a Joe Rogan fan by any means, but my friend forwarded this trailer for this documentary, and the documentary is called The Age of Disclosure, and it's all about these former political officials and people that worked in secret agencies and top level agencies talking about aliens. And it got me thinking, because the Superman movie is coming out and he's the most recognizable alien. I mean, him and Alf. I just dated myself, didn't I? Well, kids, if you don't know who Alf is, look it up. But it got me thinking, of course, there are aliens out there in the universe. This is not something that was a surprise to me. The documentary doesn't give you specific example. It gives you specific examples, but it's like there's no evidence, right? There's no clear evidence. There's no aliens that is being interviewed on the documentary. Okay, we are still unknowing as far as what's out there in the universe. We're still discovering planets that are billions of light years away, and I don't really think people understand how long a light year is. It is very far. But there are people out there that think that aliens don't exist. They tend to be kind of religious zealots that say, no, God created man and woman, and that's all that he created. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's real egotistical of you to think that out of this vast universe, the only thing that exists are the idiots that's on this planet. And yes, human people, we're idiots. But it got me thinking, why are we so fascinated about the possibility of aliens? And that's an easy question to answer. We want to know. We want to be all knowing. That's the reason why people search out. That's the reason why people try to discover new things. We want to know as much as we can when it suits us. Sometimes people out there don't want to know information if it disproves what they're thinking, but we want to know. And there's a lot of it that says, hey, we don't want to know. We don't want to be alone in the universe. Nobody wants to be alone. We want to find out what's out there, and the possibilities are endless, right? I mean, different civilizations, different technologies. We want to expand and explore. And it's also a search for connection. Like I said, we feel alone here on this planet. As many people as there is on this planet, in the universe, which is so vast, we feel alone and we want to be connected to something, even though we fear the unknown. That's another reason why we try to search out and find out what's known. And we're also trying to find out, is there something else? Is there something bigger? People are always trying to search for purpose in their life. You know, what is my purpose here? Your purpose is to exist. Your purpose is to be kind and maybe help some people along the way. Your purpose is not to have a legacy. I was talking to somebody not too long ago, and they were like, yeah, I'm turning 60 and I don't know what my legacy is. And I was like, what do you mean? Like what am I going to be remembered by? It's like, odds are you're not going to be remembered. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, odds are you're not going to be remembered. Like, most people only remember like 2 generations in their family. Right. Like, I met my great grandmother and great great grandmother. Like I met them. I don't know them. I don't even really remember their names. Like, it's my grandparents. Like, you get to your grandparents, and if you're lucky enough to meet your great grandparents, you might remember them. But most of the time, people in your own family are forgotten after 2 generations. What makes people think that they're going to have some lasting legacy? I know we're talking about aliens, and I'm detouring, but this has got me on a riff, and I'm just going to go with it. Okay, this idea that people were like, I need to have a lasting legacy. There are 45 presidents. 40 no, actually, there's not 45. There's like 42 presidents. I know people are gonna say, "No, there isn't, it's 45." They count terms. That's the reason why Trump is 43rd and 45th, I think. I somebody will correct me out there. But there are presidents that have been forgotten. The most powerful position in the world, sort of, I guess that's what they say, that have been forgotten. Just because you do something that's really important doesn't mean that you'll be remembered. And part of that context is searching for meaning, searching to find something else. If our legacy isn't here on earth, could our legacy be somewhere out there in the universe? Is there more to life? What does alien life look like? We know what we've seen in movies. We've seen everything from little green men to predators to aliens, the actual aliens. We've seen humanoids. Superman is a humanoid that looks, I mean, he looks like a human. I don't know if he got all the parts. I'm assuming he got all the parts because him and Lois, have kids in the comics and stuff like that in the television show. So I'm assuming he got all the parts. But we don't know what an alien life form looks like. And would we even recognize it if we saw it? Right? Because I mean, it could be human form. There could be aliens walking around here on in the planet that look and act just like us, or they might be shapeshifters and can shape and form into anything that they want to. It could be a rock, it could be a tree. It's fascinating to think about, and if you're curious, I understand the fascination with outer space and aliens. I mean, it'd be nice to know more about the depths of the sea than outer space because that's right here on this planet. And we absolutely know more about outer space than we do the depths of sea. But yeah, to those people out there that think that we're the only beings in the universe, that's a huge waste of space. It's a huge waste of space. I don't even know why you would even believe something like that. So there's this thing called the Fermi Paradox, and it's basically asking, where is everybody? Possible explorations include space travel. Explanations for this paradox is space travel. I know it's a lot harder than what people think it is. Look, it takes a while to get to the moon. We have not sent a person to Mars yet. That takes months to get to Mars, and that's just the next planet over. So space travel is not going to be easy. Aliens could be advanced civilizations, and they may not be interested in us. And I'll be real honest. Have y'all ever been driving in a city that you're unfamiliar with, and you're following Google Maps or Garmin if you have Garmin? Good God, I just dated myself again. Who has a Garmin out there anymore? But you're following Google Maps and you're riding around in this city that you don't know about, right? And you drive past a street and the Google Maps tells you to turn on that street, but you look at that street and you say, that street look a little dangerous to me. There's some sketchy characters that's on these corners on this block right here. I'm going to drive down, but I'm going to drive down real fast and I'm going to lock these doors. That could be aliens driving by the planet and just being like, nah, them people crazy down there. I don't want to go down there. Because theoretically, if you were a space traveler and you came across a planet that looked like ours, and then you look down, and let's just say you got news broadcasts from that particular planet, and you see all the craziness going on. You're like, that's a violent planet. I'm not going down there. What if you're a peaceful civilization? An alien comes from a peaceful civilization that want to spread their technology because their technology would be far more advanced than ours because they got to us, right? You want to spread your technology. You know what we would do? Capture it and start testing the alien. Like just naturally, that's what we would do. So who would want to come and visit? Like honestly, who would want to come visit? They probably look. I guarantee you, some aliens and drove by. I'm like, nah, don't go down to that planet. We're gonna move ahead to the next solar system. Them people down there is crazy. Absolutely. And also, aliens may have visited us in the past and decided not to come back. they they could have visited us in the past and been like, look, I'm not dealing with these people over here. They are crazy. I mean, honestly, I don't even want to be here. I mean, I do want to be here. But the aliens came and they told me there's a peaceful planet with abundance of necessities and there's joy and it's basically a utopia. I'm out because we're living in a, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but almost a dystopia. Almost. I mean, it ain't Mad Max yet. But I mean, it's not pleasant out here in these streets. People are mean. It's so crazy when people are kind to one another. It's so rare that it spreads on social media sites, right? Like, there's still kindness in the world, but it's few and far between, right? And not, like once again, aliens could just be like, nah, man, we done done that, been there, done that. I was watching a documentary the other day, CNN documentary. It was about the 80s, right? And I have a theory, and I've gotten this theory from other people that talk about aliens and outer space and all that stuff. That when we set off those bombs in the 40s, those atomic bombs, it was almost like a beacon that we are here, right? Maybe aliens didn't know about us, but they set off a beacon. They see this large explosions, multiple explosions, because we were also setting off bombs in outer space. So multiple explosions, right? That they're like, hey, what's that over there? And that they came here. And the documentary it was a CNN documentary about the 80s. And I was watching one particular episode because it's a 10-part series. And they were talking about the evolution of technology and products in the 80s. There hasn't been an evolution like that, a decade of evolution like that before or since, right? And it's the advent of cable television. It's the advent of CDs, Walkman, portable cell phones, personal computers, everything that just we have for Gen Z and Gen Alpha out there that just come natural. In the 80s, these things were being developed and being dropped. I mean, things like televisions on microwaves. I mean, it was crazy. People forget about the car phone. Now you have a car phone, it's just a cell phone. But there was an actual thing where there was a telephone that was in your car. What does has to have to do with aliens? If by theory, in the 40s, aliens saw that, oh, there's these bombs, there's this beacon, there's life there, let's go visit. Maybe they came and visited and they gave us technology. And that led to the evolution of spaceship, right? Like we get into outer space in the 60s. Televisions developed. We developed color televisions. Movies developed faster. We developed faster, just media and electronics in general. The microwave is created. Like all these things is created. And you could say, well, it could be the atomic bomb. Like all this stuff was created from the atomic bomb. Maybe. Also could be from aliens. They still don't know how the pyramids were created. I just tend to think the Egyptians just did it. But, there's all these types of hieroglyphics and like you go into these caves and just pictures of humans with wings or humanoids with wings and different types of creatures from the past, and that's all very, very, very possible. I also believe that aliens, if they are here, the reason why they wouldn't make themselves visible is because we're idiots. Just in general, human beings are idiots in a large group, and they feel threatened by everything they don't understand. Aliens will look and be like, they got differences in just color that's freaking them out because these people down there have different shades of color and they freak out and fight amongst that. They freak out and fight amongst what gender or sex that they are. We freak out and get scared of people trying to come to this country, escaping political prosecution, dictators, corrupt governments to try and have a better life. We shun them. You think that we would be any way kind to aliens? We would dissect them. We would put them under. Look, if I was an alien, I'd stay the hell away from here. I truly, truly would. And yes, there's this fascination, and more information is being delivered out to people about UFO sightings, and there's been congressional hearings and all this type of stuff, and that's dope. But people don't need to know the truth. People don't need to know the truth because people are idiots. People can't even be kind to one another who we have more in common with than we would an alien. That's true. It's absolutely true. So, yes, talking about aliens, discussing aliens and outer space and all that stuff is super cool. And maybe one day we will make contact if we haven't. The masses, the public will make contact. I firmly believe the governments already have. But the masses, the human beings, you and I will make contact. Everybody will know that aliens exist because they will reveal themselves to the masses. One day that will happen when we grow up as people and can accept things that are absolutely different. Until that time, aliens, let me just let you know, because this is going out in the airwaves, so this will be out in the ether. Don't reveal yourselves yet. Wait until we figure out some of our problems and solve some of our problems, which haven't been solved for over thousands of years. But wait, just wait. Wait till we're desperate, and then come on down and offer help to help us with our plight. Maybe that way we will treat you with kindness. Other than that, good luck to you. And for people out there that don't believe aliens exist, look, okay. Hey, believe what you want to believe. You can believe what you want to believe. But it seems kind of logical to me that there would be other things out there in the universe aside from what's right here on this planet. But that's just my unsolicited perspective. The Love Doctor is back, and I'm going to be helping you with your relationship. What do I mean by that? I came across something that I thought was really dope. And yes, I think it applies to people in relationships, but I think it can apply to any relationship, right? It can apply to friends, it can apply to coworkers, boss, subordinates. I think it can be applied in every relationship that exists in human beings. But what is this that I'm talking about? What is this effect? It's called the Michelangelo effect, also known as the Michelangelo phenomenon. This phenomenon is how close partners in romantic relationships help sculpt each other towards their ideal selves, the version of themselves they most aspire to become. This process is rooted in mutual support, affirmation, and empowerment rather than control. The metaphor comes from Michelangelo's view of sculpting. He believed his art was about revealing the masterpiece already hidden within the marble. Similarly, in relationships, each partners help reveal the best, most authentic versions of each other. I think that's beautiful. So people always say, Bruce, how are you single? Why? Why are you single? Because I'm looking for my ideal partner. And my boys that have known me for years are just like, he's looking for that superwoman. I am not. He's looking for the one. I am. I still believe in the one. But the one has evolved over time. The one used to be strictly physical. I wanted the baddest woman that I could get. Then that changed. I realized having the baddest physically appealing woman didn't necessarily make me happy because I had some bad mamma jammas back in my day. Trust me on that one. Still today, still do. Okay. I realized I wanted a friend that the most important thing to me was having somebody that I wanted around that I just didn't, it just wasn't for physical interaction. It was for mental and emotional and spiritual interaction. Then it kind of evolved even further with my natural evolution as a person. It was, I'm trying to be better every day. I want people around me that help me become this version of myself that I envision of my in my head. This not perfect, perfect isn't the right word, but perfect for me version of who I want to be as a person. And I think I do a good job of keeping those around me that help bolster the person that I'm aspiring to be. So without even knowing it, and the reason why I say it could be applied to all relationships, without even knowing it, I've been implementing the Michelangelo effect for the last 10 years. I choose friends based on how do you make me better? How do you challenge me? How can you make me get to that person that I have in my head that I want to be, that I'm still short on, right? Like I'm not there yet. I'm getting there. That's my goal. And I need those people around me to help me get to that goal. And in turn, I want to help people get to the ideal version of themselves. This is kind of the reason why I started this show. One of the reasons why I started the show was because oftentimes people either don't want to hear other people's perspectives because it's different than their own, or they don't have time for it, or they just don't care, right? And the whole purpose of the show, because at the heart, I'm a teacher, the whole purpose of the show is to bring in people that you might not necessarily talk to or might not necessarily know their story, give you their story, give you insights about who they are, what their work is, so that we can all learn because we can all learn from other people to try and become better ourselves. So that's essentially why I started this show. My hubris seems to make me believe that I have that type of capacity and ability to do that to people. I will say that there are people that contact me to say certain conversations open their eyes and help them. So that fills my cup, right? But I also, with my relationships, romantic or otherwise, want to help people attain that aspiration of who they can be as a person. And so the Michelangelo effect, it's came across my timeline and social media this week, and I was like, this is dope. I didn't know how to explain how I purposely live my life, but this was the perfect explanation. Partners shape each other towards their ideal self. So the Michelangelo effect is an interpersonal process where each partner's perceptions and behaviors help the other move closer to their ideal self-defined as they as the collection of traits, skills, and aspirations they most value. The sculpting is achieved through two main mechanisms: partner perceptional affirmation, seeing and believing in your partner's potential and ideal self. And another mechanism is partner behavioral affirmation, acting in ways that encourage and support your partner's pursuit of their goals and aspirations. Okay, I've talked about my bestie on this podcast so much. People even ask her, are y'all going to ever have her on the podcast? I don't know. I guess I never really asked her. And I guess when I talk to her today, I will ask her if she wants to come on the podcast and talk about just our relationship. But my bestie is a prime example of this working in a friendship relationship. We big each other up. That's what, we used to call it back in the day. I don't know what these young people call it, but we big each other up. Like we are always pointing out, man, you look great. You look like you're in best shape. Man, you're pretty. Man, you're handsome. Man, you're accomplishing your goals. Man, you're a boss. That's what we do all day long. Now, we talk ish about everybody else, but with each other, all we do is give each other positive affirmations. We help each other, we support each other's goals, we support each other's aspirations, and we acknowledge by verbally speaking their accomplishments. And this is what all relationships should kind of be, right? Every person should be out there trying to help sculpt the next person be the best ideal version that they see themselves, not as you see them, as they see themselves. The effect, the Michelangelo effect, is both mutual and collaborative. Both partners act as sculptor and stone, shaping and being shaped by each other. The process is most successful when the ideal self being supported aligns with what the individual genuinely wants, not just what their partner desires. So, once again, it's not about what I want for other people. I mean, truly, I want other people to think, be in thought, be enlightened, think, read. But that might not be the version that they want for themselves. Now, if the version that they want for themselves doesn't align with who I am as a person, then obviously I don't need to have a relationship with them. But we're talking about people that you want to have a relationship with. You can't project what you want for them. You must accept who they are as a person and help them be the best person that they can be, that they want to be, not what you want them to be. Collaboration and mutual empowerment are central for the Michelangelo effect. It's not about imposing change, but nurturing growth that feels authentic to each other. So we're not talking about those people out there trying to force you to do certain things. Like I said, I wish everybody would read and think and be in thought and be open-minded. Not everybody is like that. I've learned, hey, I don't have to associate with those people. Like, I don't have to have a relationship with those people. And that's anybody in my life, right? It could be a loved one. It could be a friend that I've had for decades. It could be a friend that I just had for a few days. If our situations don't align, then I'm going to back away. But if our situations do, I'm not going to impose what I believe you should be. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to ask you about your aspirations, and I'm going to support them as long as they're not stupid. Some of my friends got some stupid ideas, but let's continue on. The Michelangelo effect enhances relationship satisfaction. Research shows that couples who affirm each other's ideal selves experience greater relationship satisfaction, trust, and commitment. This effect is linked to higher marital satisfaction and is often observed in couples who report the healthiest, happiest relationships. I mean, this kind of seems kind of self-evident, right? Like if you support, and I'm specifically talking to romantic relationships, but like I said, I believe this applies to all relationships. If you support people and that person supports you, yeah, that's a healthy relationship. Yes, these people should be the happiest and healthiest. They're communicating, they're supporting one another, they're giving each other positive affirmations. this, it's see, people say relationships are difficult. They don't have to be. They don't have to be difficult. They could be pretty simple. You can make them difficult, but it's just listen to what the person wants. Either it jives with what you want or it doesn't. If it does, help nurture their ideal selves. I don't know. This just seems pretty explanatory to me. It's pretty self-explanatory to me. Seems pretty obvious. You know what the Michelangelo effect also does? It boosts individual well-being. Moving closer to oneself is associated with increased self-esteem, life satisfaction, and reduced loneliness. The process helps individuals feel more authentic and fulfilled as their partner support allows them to shed insecurities and embrace new strengths. I was talking to my boy last week, and he brought up a relationship, a specific instance that I will not get into specifics about, with me and a woman that I had dated for 3 years. I said when I forgot about this particular incident that me and her had, and when he brought it to my attention, I was like, wow, man, that relationship was so toxic. This person brought out the absolute worst in me. We were not a good fit. And I didn't do nothing like bad. I just want to put that out there because I told you I wasn't going to tell you specifically what happened. I didn't do nothing bad, like, yelling and screaming and stuff like that. I didn't do nothing that would be untoward. I didn't do nothing like that. But she just brought out the worst in me, just the worst, and never supported anything that I ever did. And me, naturally, I am a supporter. I give positive affirmations. I encourage people. That's just who I am as a person. And she just never did that. I was miserable. And I was in it for 3 years. Go figure. But yes, if you do the Michelangelo effect, it will help the person shed their own insecurities because they're moving closer to their ideal self. Most people have insecurities because of other people's actions. Now, self-esteem is self-esteem. I said that before. You got to build up yourself, but it does help when you got a day one with you. Your day one could be your friend, it could be your partner, it could be a coworker, it could be anybody, right? Your day one bigging up in you, giving you positive affirmations, it can help you build your self-esteem. This doesn't seem like rocket science to me. This seems pretty like I said, self-evident. And like it is 1 + 1 = 2. I don't think it can get any more simplistic than this. But I will raise my hand and say before the class, I could never break it down like this. I could never say this is exactly what I want in my life. I knew it, I had it idea, but until I read up on this, it wasn't like, there it is. Right there is exactly everything in black and white and in detail, everything that I've ever wanted in my entire life out of all of my relationships. This is it. This is it. And when you implement this effect with your relationships, you're helping other people grow. You're not only growing yourself, you're helping other people grow. There's an importance of balance and respect for autonomy. The effect, the Michelangelo effect, is the most positive when partners support each other's self-chosen goals rather than imposing their own ideas. Once again, the effect is most positive when partners support each other's self-chosen goals rather than imposing their own ideals. Attempts to sculpt a partner into something they don't aspire can backfire, leading to conflict and resentment. Open communication about dreams and values is crucial to ensure both partners are respected, feel respected, and remain autonomous. In relationships, now I'm speaking about relationships now, romantic relationships. In romantic relationships, often you have to merge, right? Like you become a couple. You are no longer an individual. There was one woman that I dated. I dated her for a year, and we were older. I was in my 40s and she was in her mid 30s, and she had never had like a long-term relationship, which was a red flag right there, ladies and gentlemen. Like, how you gonna be in your mid 30s and never had a real long-term relationship? And here I am, a seasoned vet in long-term relationships. And the thing that I explained to her was, because she was such an individual, she was such an independent woman. I said, before we become a couple, you must understand something. As such an independent woman, you are merging into a couple. That doesn't mean that you lose your independence. That doesn't mean that you still don't go off and hang out with your own friends and have your own life. But now there's somebody else that's a part of your life. And you must remember that you're a couple. But never lose your individuality. And the Michelangelo effect is that's what it's saying. Hey, look, right? Communication is key. Constantly talking about, what your dreams and aspirations are. Those are things couples should do, because if you're a couple, you make decisions, but you got to have the other person in mind when you make a decision. Like if you're in a relationship and you decide to take a job in another state, or you get offered a job in another state, that's a conversation that you have with your partner before you decide on what you want to do. You don't just go take the job and say, hey, I'm moving to the next state. You got a whole other person that you're supposed to be thinking about. So, but if that job is your dream job, that's a strong conversation to have. Need to have that communication to say, hey, look, this was my dream job. I know this isn't ideal, but this is something I would like to do. Okay, well, let's see how we can figure this out, because I want you to go and live out your dream. So how can we make this work? That's what communication is, right? It's not immediately saying to the one person, hey, you can't do that, move to another state. What about us? That's a selfish way of looking at it. It's an understandable way of looking at it, but you also have to look at it from another person's point of view. The other person is saying, this is my dream job. There's got to be a way that we can compromise, work this out so that I can aspire to my ideal self and you can aspire to your ideal self. But that only happens with communication. And once again, with this Michelangelo effect, communication is key. Y'all got to talk. You feeling bad about something, say it. Feeling good about something, say it. You got to talk. The Michelangelo effect differs from a negative interpersonal dynamics. It is the opposite of the blueberry phenomenon, where partners bring out the worst in each other. That's what I was in with that woman that I was dating for 3 years. I couldn't put a name to it, but now I can. Blueberry phenomenon. I also dated a woman, and I think it was a mixture of Michelangelo and blueberry. And I'm going to send this to her and ask her, like, hey, what do you think our relationship was? Because in one instance, it was absolutely we bigging each other up, we encouraging each other. One of the most encouraging woman that I've ever dated in my entire life to achieve goals and aspirations. We definitely implemented the Michelangelo effect. However, blueberry phenomenon definitely kicked in when alcohol was involved. Not by me, by her. She couldn't control her alcohol. She later apologized. We're good friends now. But no, like, you got to be careful to make sure that you're not imposing your will, what you want for that person. Once again, I cannot stress this enough. What you want for that person onto them. Listen to them. That communication. Hear and listen to what they want themselves, their ideal selves to be, and then help them to aspire to be that, as long as it isn't infringing on you also aspiring to be your most ideal self. So, what are some practical applications and examples of the Michelangelo effect? Expressing belief in each other's abilities and dreams. I don't know, that seems like a pretty simple concept, right? Just believing in the person and supporting them, providing encouragement and resources to help each other pursue their goals. Notice the key words in there. Each other. It's not a one-way street. You're pouring into their cup, they're pouring into your cup. The purpose is to fill the cup. Both of y'all need to have full cups. So it's not one way. Each other. Provide encouragement and resources to help each other pursue their goals. Celebrate progress and growth, no matter how small. Me as a fitness professional, something as simple as a person holding a plank for 10 seconds longer than they previously held it, I big up them. I don't yell and scream and run all around the place, but I big up them. I'm like, look at what you come. Last time you did 10 seconds less. Today you did 10 seconds more. Look at you. Look at you. And you know what they say to me? It's all because of your help. You see, the Michelangelo effect, even outside of romantic relationships, helping us both move to our ideal selves. Another practice that is important in the Michelangelo effect, the one that I've stressed over and over and over again, is engaging in open conversations about aspirations and supporting each other's authentic paths. Here's an example. If one partner dreams of becoming more sociable, the other might gently encourage social outings and celebrate small successes, helping them move towards their ideal self. It's not hard, ladies and gentlemen. It's not hard. So, what is the Michelangelo effect? The Michelangelo effect is taking yourself outside of yourself, realizing that there's another person, realizing that you also need to aspire to your ideal self, figuring that out, talking to the other person, figuring out what their ideal self is. They need to figure that out, not you. They need to figure that out. And y'all talking and helping each other get to that ideal self. I just saved everybody's marriage. Just saved everybody's relationship because it's not hard. Like I said, this is 1 + 1 = 2. That's all this is. And so hopefully there are people out there that are hearing me and this resonates, because what you have in your head for your partner, your friend, your coworker may not be what they have in their head as what they want to be. Talk, communicate, have those tough conversations. Don't duck them. Don't say, I don't want to talk about this right now because I don't want to have to deal with that. Don't duck them. Have them. Be uncomfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. It'll help you grow. That'll help you become your ideal self. And that'll help you help other people become their ideal self. Speaking of social media, learning new things, something came across my timeline. It was actually on YouTube. I was on YouTube just scanning YouTube, and the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer drops. Now, for those people who don't know what Grand Theft Auto is, it's a video game. I used to play Grand Theft Auto 3 and Grand Theft Auto 4. I never beat any one of them. I liked the games, but the fact that I couldn't beat them just made me quit. But I'm watching this trailer for GTA 6. It looks like a movie. It looks like a DreamWorks Pixar, but with better quality. It's like a movie, and it blew my mind, because the evolution I talked about earlier on this show about how the 80s just expanded with products and evolution and technology. And I'm watching this trailer and I'm just like, good God. I remember it when playing video games, it was stick figures. And just see the evolution over my lifetime. I've been playing video games for almost 40 years. Good God. I'm getting old, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting old. Almost 40 years. Let's say 35. 35. I got my Nintendo in 1988. I was 8 years old. So I'm about to be 44. I'll be 45. 45 is what I'm, so 37 years. So I've been playing video games for 37 years. The evolution of video games is phenomenal. I mean, Michael B. Jordan, we talked about it, his performance in Sinners. He was in a video game. He was in NBA 2K17 playing one of the characters. I mean, they actually hire real actors to play these characters in the video game, and you're playing the characters with your controller, making them do stuff, and the response from the act. Look, video games, it's crazy. I didn't play Grand Theft Auto 5. They had a whole bunch of other stuff going on and different online things for Grand Theft Auto. I've got to play Grand Theft Auto 6 just because I just want to experience the next evolution of technology. I got me an Xbox. What's the newest one? Xbox X, whatever it is. I got the newest Xbox. I got it last year for my birthday. I'm gonna go ahead and get it and hope that it's on Xbox and not on PlayStation, because then I had to go over to my sister's house and play it over my dad's house because they got the PlayStations. But I remember one time playing video games at my parents' house. It had to be Christmas, because why was I an adult at my parents' house playing video games? So it had to be Christmas, because I always buy myself a video game for Christmas. And I was downstairs playing NBA 2K. I don't know what year it was. Probably 2009 or 10 or 8, somewhere like that. Okay. And my dad says, "Well, I didn't know there was any games on right now." Because it wasn't like the time for games to be on. It was probably like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, right? He was like, "I didn't know any games was on." It's like, "Dad, this isn't a game. This isn't actually the basketball game. This is a video game." He said, "You gotta be me." I was like, "No, that." He's like, "Wow, they'd have come a long way since Dr. J versus Larry Bird." I'm like, "Yes, they absolutely have." I mean, I've already done the story of how there's been research done that shows that video games can actually help kids because of the thinking and the knowledge that they have to do to play some of these games and strategy and things of that nature. Think of it as board games, but now on television, right? Because back in the day, we would play these board games that were creating critical thinking, strategy. Video games are now doing that, and video games are so in depth, so realistic. Might be a little scary. It might be a little scary, because I remember my generation, and mind you, my generation was the first generation to really have at home video game systems. That's my generation, right? They were really scared that the kids wouldn't go outside and play. Now, we still went outside and played. We played video games, and then we went outside and played, because we like to go outside and play. But there is a realistic effect that's been happening, probably younger millennials, Gen Zers, of them not going outside. So part of the reason why some of us were healthy as kids is because we went outside and played and ran around all day. Some of these kids, there was definitely a issue in the 2000s about kids not going out and playing. That's the reason why Michelle Obama created this, campaign to get kids to go outside and play. But I don't blame them for staying inside the house and playing these video games, because have you seen them? They look realistic. They look so realistic. Now, like I said, I played Grand Theft Auto 3 and 4, and I saw this trailer and I was like, that's not the Grand Theft Auto I remember. Granted, Grand Theft Auto 3 had to be 20 years ago, right? I think it was 2002. So 23 years ago. It was a long time. Video games have definitely evolved. I don't even think the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox 360 were out yet. I think I was playing Grand Theft Auto on PlayStation or Xbox, like the original, the first generations. And here we are now on PlayStation 5, and I don't know what iteration of this Xbox is. Let's see, we had Xbox 360, there was an Xbox One, and then I guess an Xbox X, or whatever I got right now. That's what I got. I don't think there was anything in between, but I've had them all. I've had every single one of these Xboxes. Yes, video games and the evolution of video games is amazing, but you kind of see that across all technology, right? When we watch these Pixar movies or what used to be cartoon movies, go back and watch The Lion King, and that was evolved for that time. Because you go back and you watch Transformers or G.I. Joe cartoons from the 80s, Thundercats, they look real elemental. They look real pedestrian out here. And everything is just more advanced. And so I think it's dope. I really do. I really think it's dope that this video game, and go check it out. It's GTA 6. It's on YouTube. Go check out the trailer. It looks like a movie. And isn't that the next great thing, right? Is anybody else like me when you watch a movie? And I might be the only one. I'm not, because I've talked to other people do that. Do you pause if you're at home? Do you pause and start acting out the scene, but the way that you would have responded to it? Right? Like, this is what I would have did. That happens a lot during scary movies. I would do this, right? In the video games, now that look like real life, that look like movies, you can. You can. There's a script, right? There's a story, but your actions dictate where the story goes. It's different than Mario Brothers or Zelda or these video games that we had back in the day. It's a whole world. I haven't played Fortnite. I don't play Call of Duty. Those games are a little bit too advanced for me. I'm pedestrian. I like my Madden. They came out with the college football. I like my sports games. I don't pretty much play action adventure games because I can't ever beat them, right? There's always gets to a point where you got to drive a car to a certain point is at the time limit. I done wrecked the car or I done died or the cops is chasing me. I don't ever beat them and it's not fun for me. But these video games now, especially with GT6, that has an online situation that just seems dope where you can interact with other people. It's a movie that you're in that has a framework of a story, but you're dictating where the story goes. And yes, anybody would be fascinated by that. I'm waiting for the day that video games become so evolved that you can put on a suit and then actually play in a basketball game through the video game and the character mimics. I know they have stuff similar to that now, but I mean, you really feel like you're in a basketball game and you really feel like you're in a football game because you're actually doing the movement. You want to get kids out there being more active? That'll definitely do it. Make their ass run around or something like we had the power pad back in the day. And all my older millennials and Gen X know what I'm talking about, the power pad. You got the Nintendo, you play track and field on it, you move your feet as fast as you can. If you was cheating, you was moving your hands, and we didn't allow that in my household. When you came over to my house, you put your feet to those buttons and you move those feet because we are playing hurdles, we are sprinting, we are going at it. That would be great to reintroduce those type of elements to video games, right? They kind of de-evolved as far as that's concerned. But these graphics and the way these things move, technology is cool, man. AI is cool. We got everything in the palm of our hands. Makes life easier. Sometimes. Sometimes. But this video game, look, y'all go check it out. Y'all tell me. Leave a comment or something. Y'all tell me. That don't look spectacular to you? That looks spectacular. And supposedly, people have been waiting for years for this. I mean, it's not like they drop one every year because we're on Grand Theft Auto 6. And I remember playing Grand Theft Auto 3 23 years ago. So it's not like they drop them every year. People have been waiting for it. But it seems like the wait was worth it because these graphics are on point. But on that note, y'all tired of hearing me talk about video games? I don't blame you. I'm just fascinated by technology. Anyway, listen. Aliens are out there. They don't need to be coming to talk to us because we just gonna mess it up. Learn to communicate with your partner and learn to fill their cup by using the Michelangelo Effect. It'll better your relationship. And check out that Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer because first of all, they got trailers for video games now and the graphics are spectacular. That's all I got to say. And on that note, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holla. Whew, that was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching into it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast and YouTube exclusive content. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspective.com for all things us. That's where you can get get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you really feel generous and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace.